Welcome to this live stream. We are in this same spot we were the other day, experimenting with our full roving setup here. We found ourselves yesterday kind of just tentatively resume an element of improv that we do with our loop pedal, where we are very actively playing around with guitar loops and then basically just doing songwriting improvisation, vocal loops, guitar loops, and then in live time letting these all weave together. And really just finding a lot of freedom and exploring this very open way of just songwriting where we just create a guitar loop that has not just your regular loop qualities, but is basically a full improvised guitar riff, and then just creating in live time vocals on top of it. Of course, using our beautiful vocal setup we have here. Good evening from the UK. Beautiful. Man, I've been randomly just feeling drawn to exploring the UK. Like, I have a couple friends that are out that way, but I kind of just was like, man, something about. There's even actually this artist I follow. She, what's her name? Can't remember right now. Recently found her. Katie something? I don't know. Basically, she's an artist that's very well known for microtones. She's also a YouTuber, actually, but she's like a social media guitarist, creator, but she's extremely well known for microtones. And she did this extraordinary thing where she basically has a guitar. It's an acoustic nylon guitar. And she has microtone frets, which is something I rarely see people utilize intelligently. But I really loved it. She was doing this thing where she would basically explore microtones. So it's like, say you have your 12th fret, some of these frets would be split up in half. So you would actually have developed microtones. And the way she was doing is she would explore these microtones. She'd do like an arpeggio. And then she would basically every microtone, that she would climb up. She would do these microtone climbs, and then she would vocalize on top of these and do microtone harmonies. Extremely beautiful stuff. But yeah, I guess she was from the UK. Or is. Yeah, but the essence that we were kind of playing around with is basically, say you do something like this. Like, we'll save this loop and create a fresh loop and kind of explore what we were just exploring before we hopped on our stream inside of our studio. Oh, damn. Apparently my battery's low on my loop pedal. I think I brought an extra battery for that. Pretty sure I did. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyways, basically, say we do. Something like that, say. It's a random riff. We're like, all right, that was a cool riff. And we're like, just wanting to let that play out as a loop. And then we hook ourselves up to our microphone. Testing. That's very loud. Get that done. So we're taking that loop, we're like, all right, that's a magical loop that just flowed through. And then we can create as if we were just to make a song, right? And be like, trying to just create little allotments of words in a meaningful way. Oh, timed out there. That kind of works though. We'll kind of let that sit with that. Testing. We'll experiment with that. We'll experiment with that as we are. It's like a very free-form style of creating entire songs that, you know, have vocal and lyrical pieces, and basically almost like using those tones as like a poetic sound. Nice. Thank you, Jones. Right back at you, brother. Trust. Homies, that projection of your soullessness or whatever you're seeing, I get it, brother. You yourself, you produce or you seek, you see, you know, dog shit within the music paradigm. I get it. So thank you for sharing your opinion. But obviously, you yourself are struggling, you know, with your own creative artistry. And I hope you resolve that, brother. I hope you do. One second though, before we pop into that. We're gonna grab our battery to make sure our loop pedal doesn't die on us at random. So you may want to do that. You gotta love that though. I love when people project, you know, negativity or random just like projections. I mean, hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, right? Maybe we didn't bring that battery there. But obviously, everyone also doesn't have to necessarily align with what you do musically, and not everyone's opinions even has any sort of, let's say, I don't know, just like basis. Like almost like people don't have to have good taste in music or guitar or whatever. You know, some people, they like pop music. That's like their thing. They're just like, let's go all day long, pop music. And hey, all the power to you if that's what's, you know, feeds your heart. If you hear acoustic guitar and a sort of, you know, different style and that's not resonant with you, hey man, that's all good. No one's forcing you to, you know, fill your ears with whatever it is. Damn, though, looks like, okay, our loop pedal is on low, but that's okay. Hey, thank you. Yeah, no, I was sitting with some psilocybin the other day, and I was kind of conjuring a lot of these sounds, you know, from a place of just playing with this alternate tuning and kind of just sitting with my energy and being like, you know, just reflecting on a lot of things. And I kind of like feel like playing with this alternate drop B tuning that I developed and then just trying to experiment and explore with this sound. It felt really resonant where I was like, you know, I'm finding myself naturally access the vocal tones and feeling into these things. So I don't know, I just, it feels good. All I can say is it feels good to me, you know? I think that's all that really matters. Even if one note or one sequence or one dynamic that you yourself are conjuring as a musician, if that lands to you, if that feels good to you, that's all that really matters. We're gonna do that again though. We're trying to lean into an unorthodox loop and then try to weave together something on the spot that kind of just fills and stretches into a sort of vocal dimension. I don't know, it's just something I've been very new to exploring that I'm just doing on the fly. Yeah, magic. Yeah. Sometimes people summer soft bit, sudden toxic madness. It's okay as long as it doesn't cross your limit. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, as I've come to learn lately, like, you know, part of it is like I'm facilitating, I'm curating the space, right? What I desire to be like, you know what? We're here to be present with the music. Let the music speak, you know, let it kind of like create ripples. Be present with that. surely that is what the YouTube algorithm, I think, invites. It enables that, where people are just like, word, we're here to be present and experience this sort of meditative music. You know, some people obviously, yeah, the simplest answer, they don't deserve one's energy. And again, respectively, I love to have philosophical or spiritual conversations and dialogue. Like, I appreciate my audience, truthfully, especially the ones that consistently show up and really seem to have really beautiful kindred perspectives. But yeah, some people, like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It's like they're just hilarious, or their opinion is just like dog shit. And maybe, I don't know. That's just a reflection of what they're going through, or what they prefer in life. And who knows? Sure. I don't know. Just kind of let that ring out. And then as we are, we're gonna hook up our secondary plug. Just experiment, and keep that on the lower end. Oh, timed out. It's kind of, we didn't take a lot of time to master the sound, but as we are. I don't know what words to integrate into here. Maybe it's like look deeper into that word. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. This is a fresh kind of portal. I don't know. It seems very like kumbaya, but it's very beautiful. I don't know. It feels good. I'm not too focused on the words or the dynamic per se or the genre. I'm just kind of feeling into the energy of what feels good to release in the words, and then just playfully explore these dynamics. In a way. Let's see. Let's try a fresh loop. We're gonna focus on the vocals as we historically do, to kind of create like an ancient sound. See how that flows through. Okay. Let's kind of let that echo. I feel like in these dimensions of loops and vocals and stuff, it's like the often, thing I'm trying to unlock, because I've really only been exploring, particularly with these with the amplified vocals, or like using the preamp in the vocals. It's just trying to unlock this capacity to constantly just create a new loop. Not trying to think in a sort of one-dimensional capacity of like, okay, vocals and then guitar and then this, but being like, how can it all kind of just break open the grid of how one creates or engages in these sounds. Sort of the way, like, when I play guitar, right? I improvise on the guitar. Everything is constantly breathing life into a different pathway. It's always just innovating into something new. It's novel. And I think that's the capacity that I have to sort of give myself permission to see and feel into with vocals in relation to the pan flute and the pan flute in relation to the guitar, and constantly just creating a level of novelty that I would never expect. So we're going to try to continue that. It's pretty easy, I would say, particularly when you have like a good rooting of what you're doing, with your instrument. Let's try something. Let's try something I've been kind of inching towards yesterday. Let's go. I gotta head. Yeah, I forgot to go to the comment section. This piece is definitely taking a mountain, heavenly feel. Yeah, bro. It's honestly, this is just the direction I'm feeling drawn to. Is like, sometimes I like to make it like very ancient, very cryptic, for almost like an ominous energy. Sometimes, like, yeah, I'm feeling very floaty and, I don't know, very ethereal. And I don't know, man. It's whatever I'm feeling in the day. I think it's all beautiful. It's all beautiful. You just gotta let it flow, not really think about it necessarily. And of course, good guitar, I think, is good guitar. Good guitar sounds, good guitar techniques. That alone, I think, is a beautiful statement. And then I guess part of it is creating a playful exploration of it all. Let's see. So I was doing something yesterday where it's like, imagine we're in a song, right? We're like, okay, let's create a fresh loop, and then let's splice up the loop, and I don't know, doing some intervals. Nope. Kind of messed up part of that, but that's okay. I don't know, we'll let that sit as it is. But then I want to do the next interval. Will kind of be something different. Let's just weave in our baby here. Not a bad start. Oh, no, timed it again. Fuck. We're slowly getting there. Slowly getting warmed up, I would say. Let's see what that. August Rush. Nice. Yeah, bro. I didn't see August Rush until recently. Someone, well, a bunch of people commented August Rush. Like, yeah, let's go. August Rush something. And I remember just being like, yeah, I've never seen that movie. And I watched it recently. Beautiful, beautiful, magical movie. But, yeah, I've been playing this style way before I even knew what August Rush was. Strangely. They did a very good job in that movie, though. I feel like they did a great job curating and kind of like playing around with his, his, what's say, choreographed guitar styles that he's emulating. Like the way he's playing it was just beautiful. Like, such a dope movie. Yeah. Definitely see this coming together as one sound. The progression is beautiful. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm just getting warmed up. That's the funny part. I'm just kind of like exploring tentatively. It's a little tricky. I'm at a weird angle here, and I'm just chilling in the forest. But earlier when I was sitting in my studio chair, it was a little more cohesive, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I think the key is to just let yourself just be present and appreciate all the little elements as they build, and then seeing it as one cohesive song, which I'm slowly getting into because I've only been playing on loops for the last maybe 4 or 5 days, really. Interesting. You make me think of Genius Flow State. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know if that's a compliment or or just like a movie or something. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Definitely been feeling the flow state lately. Yeah, it's magic. For sure this music will become a song. Yeah, bro, what I was doing earlier when I was not on the stream was just so beautiful. Like it really, I captured part of it, but let's say, like if we're just like, this is the essence of what I'm trying to normalize. Because, I do like loops where I'm doing like arpeggios, right? That's what I've been doing the last few days. I do an arpeggio. We can probably start with that just to kind of, something like that, right? That's an arpeggio, sort of arpeggiated thing. And I'll be like, yeah, that's chill, right? It makes it easy to add off of, right? And we could be like, we're just live making the song happen. It's all just one loop, right? It's all just happening all at once. I don't know what's gonna happen, where it's gonna go, but it has potential. Maybe turn it up a bit. Something like that. But then we could be like, all right, that was cool. And we'll let that keep on looping out, right? And then as we've been doing, we plug in our vocal component. Not just plugged by itself. It's awesome. Trying to capture through the mic. Interesting. It's kind of like wherever that loops in. I'm trying to capture in something there. Whoa. Sounds silky, I don't know. Not exactly crystallized, but it's got something in there. Just gotta kind of lean into the flow still more. It's getting a little crowded, but I like it still. Oh, damn. I think we gotta log in here to lock our computer here. Ah, it just keeps timing out. Maybe it's just, weird. Come on, computer. Browse. Yes. That'll do. That should keep it locked in. Bugs, dirt, etc. Bad idea to put laptop onto the ground. You'd think, but not really, bro. It's a Chromebook. Nah, it's padded on like moss and pine cones. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's any actual risk there. Probably YouTubers trying out new sounds to add his loops and riffs to the good skills. Nice. Nice. The tone's a little lower. Nice. Man, yeah. YouTube sucks. I think that says it all, bro. Yeah, if you want to see, I don't know, I know for a fact I love what I do here musically. Looping is an exploration I do for my busking act to experiment, challenge myself, and share this with my audience. But I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. Sounds like YouTube sucks is feeling salty. Yeah, he's feeling insecure. I hear you, brother. Hope you resolve that, brother. Yeah. Nice. Nah, I won't have lived too long. What about vents? It's a Chromebook, bro. So, I mean, very inexpensive. It ventilates beautifully, yeah. But I appreciate the concern for the laptops. But one second, thank you, YouTube, for your projections or whatever's going on in that rat maze of your brain. But I hear you, YouTube. Good luck. I'm assuming you yourself are, trying to be a guitarist or a YouTuber. Good luck, YouTube sucks. Like, I hope you figure, like, to the dude behind the screen. Like, I hope you, brother, are actually, like, figuring out your own journey, your own guitar quest. I hope you do well with that or whatever, because clearly right now you're struggling, and I hear you, brother. So good luck with that. It's unfortunate to hear. Oh, a mosquito. He was very ninja. You almost got me. Yeah, let's see. Let's do a fresh loop here. Kind of trying to do what we were doing at the beginning, where we're trying to give ourselves permission. And again, it's a little less organic when we're chilling on a live stream, on a camera. I mean, usually we can just ignore it, but it's like I'm trying to experiment with literally just being like, all right, here we are, fresh loop, just whatever, right? No thoughts, just right, just simple, right? Simple. It just flows as it wants to, and we're like, all right, bam, let's capture. Oh, that's not the point. We're like, all right, well, let that saturate, maybe, I don't know. Got our mic. Sort of worked, I don't know. Like maybe go low. I don't know. Sort of got there. Yeah, we'll access that. We'll access that. Yes. Rock and roll. Pest control. Bro, what? Huh. No vents, nuclear explosion. Right. I mean, hey, man, I appreciate the... Well, there's vents. There's definitely vents. It's a Chromebook, dog. The vents are right there. Hell, the vents are... Yeah, it's... I don't know, bro. Maybe you guys are onto something. Hell, maybe that's why it's kind of slow. It's sometimes... I think it more has to do with I'm feeding an audio interface and multiple plugs, and it's like what's the word? It's powering off. So maybe you guys are smart motherfuckers, for lack of a better word. Like you guys know computers better than I do, and you're speaking hardcore facts. So I think what we're gonna do in response maybe is actually we can take our Chromebook, stack it on top of our Focusrite. Simple fix, right? Simple fix. It's not on the moss, not on the grass, far away from the bugs, and the vent is ventilating. So now the laptop's got zero issues, I would say. I don't know if that actually solves the timeout issue. You guys are geniuses, because that's something I've been trying to solve for a while. So thank you. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the answer, but I kind of just understated. I was like, it's just a laptop. It can chill on the floor. Whatever. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to solo improv, like wild, mix it in whatever until we warm up our improv and start to hear vocal melodies flow through, which usually is what happens. Because what I'm trying to unlock right now, actually, it's very clear, it's very simple, is the way I improvise, right, on the guitar. It's very it's very fine tuned, right? I kind of just like do a mixture of chords and spliced up scales that I kind of do on a horizontal and vertical plane. That's manifests as tapping and harmonics and whatever, right? The idea is I'm trying to exercise that same skill set. Oh, this tree's getting in the way. But with vocalizing, right? I'm trying to like let vocalizing, improv flow like water, which is sometimes occurs. I've only been doing this last couple days now, like really being like, all right, vocal improv, let's go. But I think, it's definitely something I can access, I feel. These mosquitoes though. But I feel like the key will be to just basically have the same level of cohesiveness of like, all right, the next note just flows. Like it's like that's dope, right? That's like all improv. I can do the same with vocals. Maybe just be like, so, try to think of notes, not dynamics, not words, notes. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know. I'm just figuring this out on the live. Like, see, that's just like melody. It's like notes, it's there. We're also in an alternate tuning drop B, so it's a little bit different. I think it introduces an extra challenge. We're not in orthodox tuning. Think, so, so, like, think we're in those note ranges, right? And then next we could be like, so we're in this range, then we could go down. So somewhere there, maybe? I don't know. We're figuring it out. They'll get there. I'm just kind of real time underlining what we're trying to figure out. We have a strength and we can improvise in our guitar, but hey, we do this. I want a different world for a minute or so. Whoa, you went to a different world. Magic. I've been there. I've been feeling this. So what cult do I represent? Never been a part of a cult, but hey, bro, as one of my previous partners would always say, we're all basically part of cults. Everything becomes a cult eventually. But, nah, bro, I'm just a guitarist, bro. I'm a YouTuber. Guitarist. I go to dance communities, raves. I train a lot. I don't think gyms, I wouldn't consider training at the gym a lot a cult. I wouldn't consider training martial arts or parkour. Those aren't really cults. They're too authentic cults. I don't know. I wouldn't consider going to music festivals cults. So I don't know, bro. What cult are you a part of that you're trying to unpackage maybe? Because I don't think I'm a part of any cults, I'll be honest. That's just not how I operate. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, damn. So our loop pedals officially died. Well, that's the universe for you. I'm sure if I read more Joe Dispenza work, I know Joe Dispenza is like, brilliant guy. That dude's a cult leader. That dude's all about the cult life. In all truth. Okay. Well, we gotta connect some different connections here because our loop pedal unfortunately has died. It's passed away. It's needs a new battery. So we gotta reroute our plug-in setup. And probably at some point we'll have to go home and just get a new battery for that. But that's the way it is, I guess. So no looping there. So we're either plugged here and we got our secondary. Actually, I will make this easy. We'll make this really easy. Plugins will go right through here. We don't need this guy. Beauty. Yeah, I don't need that. Man, all these chords though. It's good to be organized with your chords. Can't always be that organized, but it's good to be pretty organized. All right. That's all we need, right? just like that. Oh wait, what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh wait a sec. What? Okay. All right, we're back. We got electric. Yeah, bro. I mean, we're not gonna deep dive about cults and what is and what's not, but I think you got to be a certain type of person to surrender into a cult and a cult mentality. And I don't know. I have to say, as a lifetime of being a musician slash philosopher slash whatever, I mean, a free thinker. If you're a free thinker, you're probably gonna not desire to join some sort of weird cult. That's just kind of how it operates typically. Let me balance that. Ah, these mosquitoes are really coming in full effect. Sort of slink up the pants or whatever. Yeah. Magic. Let's see. We are the cult, called being a part of nature, which plugs into use. I don't think that's how cults work. That's just being a human. So that's beautiful. Not a part of cult, yeah. Nature's never been a cult. It's just who we are. We are nature. So yeah, that's grand. Yeah, I use I think I've told this to you already, dog, but we have a basically not an actual plugin, but a preamp. We don't really use we use zero plugins, but we have a preamp equipped. So tone wood amp. You know, I've released videos about this, talked about this pretty much every single stream I ever do. And every time I go anywhere in public, I'm always like promoting the fuck out of the tone wood amp. I should definitely be affiliated, getting compensated, but they're just dinks about that. But I promote the tone wood amp more than most. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully one day I'll meet cash and checks for them. The idea is I use a tone wood amp, the version 1. There's 2 versions. Basically, they have a newer, updated version that's like a different prototype. But I have tone wood amp version 1, or it's actually version 2.55 or something, because it's been upgraded or downloaded. But the idea is that I have that, a Scarlett 2i2 interface, and of course my Chromebook, which is just there, my Blackstar Fly amp, just for amplification. So the majority of what you're hearing is tone wood amp settings, so the preamp doing its thing, and then the Scarlett 2i2 interface is mastering the sound just a little bit. Like that's really what you're hearing effectively. And then I'm just doing my own little sort of calibration for it, you know, playing around with the settings. interesting. Whoa, bouncing around. I forgot how much not having a loop pedal at all for the last couple days at least has like curbs, how much it curbs your flow. I mean, I speak of this openly where I honestly don't use loop pedals very actively, except for recently for just these interesting kind of challenges. But also, it introduces a beautiful dimension for busking. But it blows my mind how much loop pedals really just like curbs your potential or your ability, say, to improvise truly, like significantly. If you're just like in that zone where you don't have to basically just play the guitar without a loop, your mind, it thinks and, navigates the fretboard so differently, which, that's what I'm apt to focus. That's what I specialize in, I would say. It's just improv, just pure. It forces your mind to actually like chain together creative ideas. Just, I don't know, it's just reinforces in my mind how much the loop pedal is like such a crutch. Beautiful tool, but it can become a crutch so easily if you yourself are not stepping outside of that. I'm here for the first time. Sorry I missed it. Oh, word. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you, brother. I assumed, I don't know, you were here previously because you were like defending me based on my guitar style. And I was like, whoa, this guy must be a regular audience member. I don't know. Because you're like, he knows. I don't know, but I appreciate the love, brother. I appreciate the good words. Being a holy person, you give light my soul through the sound. Very interesting and beautiful. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I mean, I feel blessed to, be on a path where I find myself truly, too, also connected to spirit. Not something I ever sought or tried to identify very much with. It's just through the path of being a sound healer and, receiving love in my life and blessings and building visions and I don't know, just living my highest expression of self over the last like 5, 6, 7 years. I've somehow just organically, and also, sitting with medicine like magic mushrooms and changa, which is a form of DMT, every so once in a while, I notice these are the dimensions that all together in unison have let me sort of experience something different. Sort of what I attribute to, if you guys haven't seen, shameless self-promotion. Feel free to check out my long format YouTube video because I'm trying to really like push in the algorithm my videos, just to have it receive a broader audience. But basically, long story short, yeah, I talk a lot about how leaning into love versus fear, which, philosophically and psychologically is a fairly simple concept. You might think, yes, of course, we have maybe on one side love and one side fear. It's like a dualistic sort of relationship or a polar relationship. But when you really understand like how deeply woven that is, how much fear-based constructs we operate from, and when you basically realize that we can feel these same things, we can feel if everything from a heart-centered space, one from love in the deepest sense, that basically penetrates the illusions of fear. I think this is very important to see. And if you sit with mushrooms ever in your life, ever, or sit with like a psychedelic or have a spiritual, awakening of any sort ever, right? These are a very core truths you might see is like you get to feel into a heart-centered space that penetrates the illusions of fear, fear-based narratives that a lot of us operate from, without going too much into depth. I could talk about that forever. It's just like how many constructions of the mind out of fear do all of us hold on to? If you can sit there and you see yourself construct anxiety built, constructions of people, of places, of experiences, maybe the past, maybe of the future, how much can you actually confidently confide in the reality? Is this out of fear? Is this a fear-based construction that is illusionary at the core? It's not even real. There's no basis. It's not even real. It's a substitution of an illusionary construct that actually isn't real. If you really addressed it, you really unraveled it and unpackaged it, you're like, is this actually real? And many rights, if not all, it is just pure illusion. Love is the lens that you can feel things into that allows you to feel into something from a different light. And if you're just perceiving things out of fear, in many rights, it's not even real. Like you're seeing through this construct that's just been programmed into you. and you can let it go. That's kind of the essence of what I'm saying. It's like if you can actually understand how to feel into something beyond fear, you can realize that a lot of fear isn't real. It's literally just an illusion. Psychedelic conquests, maybe a spiritual breakthrough if you're fortunate to get on that, be on that path where that's just your quest. You'll see these are cardinal truths that arise from this. You're like, oh, fear is nothing but just an illusion. It's never been real. There's nothing to fear in this world. But you got to feel it. And kind of the quintessential truth, that's kind of philosophical nature, is, well, only when, I think this is a philosophical piece. I forget, maybe it's Aristotle talks about this. I'm trying to remember the specific philosopher. But only when you are basically seeing, when you experience like the most intense, exquisite, fear-based narrative, like pain, sorrow, grief to such an extreme level, can you realize that it's not real. Like it's a very harrowing and intensive component to recognize. But it's almost like if you ever hit like a rock bottom or a dark night of the soul where you experience true sorrow or pain, emotional pain, or means of being like, you see and feel into such a fear-based narrative that is perpetuated and intensified. It's only when you actually are in that place where you come to realize, like, this is not even real. This can't be. This cannot be. And yeah, I don't know. Of course, we all gotta, individualistically see that innately. We gotta all come to that conclusion ourselves. Like, fear is not real. We gotta feel why. We gotta feel those things that are fear constructed through our lifetime of how we've been programmed to be like, this has simply never been real. It's never who I am. It's never what is. And you just let it go. And then naturally what arises can be something that you've suppressed. That is love. That is built out of love. And we all got to see it, and whenever timing we can manifest that from. But yeah, I'm in Canada, friend. Hello, Sarah here from Pakistan. Welcome, 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 Sarah. Yeah, we're in British Columbia, Canada. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let's do kind of 360. I don't know. We can't. It's not really a very good 360. We'll keep it on a sort of level. Yeah, let's flip it for you guys. That's how we do 360s. This is our spot as we are here. Got the trees kind of staring down, staring up, yeah. And we just chilling, surrounded by a river over here, and there's a river kind of down here. Baseball game, unfortunately, happening up there. I mean, I don't know, it's their softball game. I think it's kind of noise polluting, but they're just chilling, celebrating their existence. Kind of like a couple miles up that way, big field, mountain view, middle of nowhere. But usually it's quiet. It's like very quiet. Yes, yes, yes. I've had many beautiful DMT experiences through it all and came to the conclusion that love is the reality and the illusion. And the illusion. And depends on how you are, and it's going to let you affect your self-actualization. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yes, and reality. And love is the reality and the illusion. Love is the reality and the illusion. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Love is not the. I mean, I'm not sure if that was a wording domain. I get what you're saying, and I agree. Yeah. But I mean, in the essence, I mean, love is not the illusion, I would say. If we're going to, split hairs in that kind of semantic, is like in the simplest sense, like heart resonance, a perception that is felt in the heart that we could define as love, like not just like love, like the illusionary love. Maybe you're like, I love you because of condition, because of maybe like a manipulative, societal, materialistic condition. That's not love. But love, like the essence of it, the feeling, like when you find a romantic partner that you're sacredly connected, you're like, I love you, like deeply, and you mean it, and it's just pure, unconditional, which is rare. That is not an illusion. That's the illusion shattering experience. That will shatter the illusions. Because fear is the illusion. Fear is invariably, nothing is real within fear. Fear is just a construct that we're all programmed very heavily to be like, no, but fear, based off of fear, I believe this, I feel that. Scarcity within this and that. We allow ourselves to adopt dimensions of scarcity, but in a deeper sense, like there's a book about abundance that says the generosity of spirit is infinite, which I love. Like the book itself, it's not bad. It's got chapters that wave a little bit, but the generosity of spirit is infinite. The generosity of spirit is infinite. That's a word or a quote that's always very much sat with me, because when you understand that, it's true. It's a very penetrating truth. The generosity of spirit is infinite, right? We have been programmed out of fear to feel finite, to feel, fixed, to feel like we're scarce, like we're scarce for this, that, the other reasons. But in the truest sense, spirit, like the generosity that is flowing from an abundant source, is infinite. There is no reason to feel scarce. That is an illusion based on fear. And it works, of course. It is programmed very heavily. It successfully programs. But I think you were sensing a different sort of construct. But I love these trees. Prefer to like, yeah, bro, that's Canada for you, dog. Yeah, this is, they're mossy. They're full with moss. That's why I love them. We got ferns. Ferns, I think we got some pine trees around here. Yeah, I got lots of pines and cedars. Canada, bro. Lots of moss. Moss is definitely, like, when I'm on psychedelics, I swear, bro, all I want to do is be around ferns and moss. Like, it's literally like, if I could fill my room with ferns and moss, and of course trees, but ferns and moss, I would do so. Like, I would just have ferns everywhere. Just everywhere, bro. It'd be like you're in a Jurassic Park movie. Generosity of spirit is infinite. No. I don't know. I could talk about forever, but in some ways, yes. It's so clear. It's so simple. So simple. Yeah. But yeah, dog, I'm happy to hear you've been sitting with that medicine and it's been offering you some clarity, bro. That's beautiful. I love to hear that. I'm a massive proponent of altered states of consciousness and psychedelia. But of course, I'm also a massive proponent of, practicing self-awareness, of sober integration. Every medicine, of course, can be abused. Any medicine can, create disharmony depending on how you integrate it, depending on where you're at and how you desire to treat these medicines. And yeah, I think, though, universally, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, and of course DMT, if you really revere it, these are very powerful, very sacred medicines. They have such a beautiful medicinal property. Humans are meant to consume these medicines, like invariably. It's just the reality. Huh. Hearing birds. Do bird stuff. But yeah, anyway. Say la vie. Say la vie. And welcome, Dinosaur. What's good, brother? Oof. Interesting. F the streets. Whoa, that was random. When I see mosses and ferns, I want to make small terrariums. Love making small intro. That's rad. As you should. As you should, Ark. Yeah, bro. Brother or sister, I can't tell. We're gonna warm up with some of our microtones for us. Because who doesn't like microtones? Straighten our posture a little bit. You know, if you're not familiar, microtones, essentially, we have our tones, right? You got our pinch harmonic. That's a tone. Beautiful tones, right? Then you can be like, create these weird little interactions. I mean, they gotta happen organically, but they are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I love them so much. It's funny, today we're in sort of an impasse. We're like, you know, we're thinking today on the agenda, we're simply probably just gonna, you know, rock a stream as we are, hour in. Maybe stream for another half hour, I don't know. Probably go to the gym, bring all our gear, probably busk in Gastown. That's the idea. And then go to a rave. It's like in succession. You know, we're gonna be like, you know what? We can basically do what we did the other week, you know, where we recorded and did a video. We were just like, we just drink some cacao because we're going to a rave. So we're like, we'll just drink cacao later in the day, stack up just like gym, busk, and Gastown, go to a rave. So we'll probably do that, you know, in the next like 3 hours or something. But it's also, part of me low key is kind of like I have this like inkling. Maybe it's because I've been sitting with a lot of, you know, psychedelic medicine and sitting in the forests and meditating for hours. And it's just like, I have this like weird but beautiful and organic raw feeling of being like, man, I just want to be with trees and stillness, like in the most deep, deep, deep sense. And again, I've also been, you know, sitting with microdoses of shrooms and macrodoses of shrooms in the course of the last couple weeks and feeling like I've been surfacing a lot of core things. And low key, I'm just kind of like, I could go technically busk. I could plunge into the city portal and, you know, prioritize that. And it's not about doing that versus not. But I feel like there's a part of me that's continuously recognizing that sometimes, you know, I mean, we're blessed right here. We're chilling in the forest. We are feeling present. It's a nice day. I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm just around the forest, around the trees, playing guitar, just flowing. But it's like part of me is like, man, I'm just like so deeply to the core of my being, just desiring just to be like, I want to just chill with this tree, you know, and just meditate. Like I don't have to technically, you know, drink some cacao and go and busk in the cityscape and do this and go to this rave. I mean, I probably will, and I really would be honored to. But it's like there's nothing forcing me. It's kind of like the weird thought that I found myself engaging when, you know, when I did LSD a little while back, where I was like, I don't technically have to do anything. Like, you know, I'm honored to do this. I'm honored to be a streamer, guitarist, busk as I do and connect with people and go to raves and dance and connect, do all these human things, go to the gym. I fucking love that shit, right? I love all that. But technically, I don't have to do anything, right? Like, technically, in the deepest sense, you know, and I feel like on psychedelics, that's often the blissful reminder is like, I could just sit in the forest and meditate for like 4 hours and do nothing. It's not productive in a quintessential sense, but I could technically do that. And it's like, that's cool. That's okay. You know, to the deep core of my being, like that seems acceptable, permissible, beautiful, you know? There's nothing really like forcing me to be a human being per se, like to be like, oh, I gotta be a part of productivity and society's productive, you know, checklist of like, oh yes, I did the gym, I freaking made some money doing the busking, and I did this and I socially that. It's like, nah, man, it's like I can technically do nothing and just meditate in the forest. And that's magical, you know? And obviously it depends on where you're at in your phase of your integration or your existence of whatever you're trying to accomplish in this world. But yeah, technically you don't have to achieve or accomplish anything. And just recognizing and feeling into that and being like this synonymous accomplishment of like just sitting in a forest or a field and just meditating for hours and doing nothing, and comparing that in the light of like, oh, but also achieve, gym slash this, which is mega productive, all these things I love to do and it's an honor, but it's like, sometimes you just got to realize that they are equivalent, they are equal. It's okay to do nothing. It's okay to just meditate and give yourself permission to do nothing. You don't have to achieve anything, technically. I mean, you always can, and it's a blessing. I don't know. My mind's just been interestingly playing with that. I'm like, I'm just grateful to be in a forest, not around humans, and technically I don't have to go into anything and do anything around humans. If I want to, if it does, let's go. Yeah. Rave, well, have fun. Yes, I miss a good rave. Oh, damn. Yeah, bro, I mean, it's never too late. It's never too late. Yeah. Lactose intolerant cottage cheese. Whoa. I think that's spoken much like first last. You're spoken like a guy. I don't know. Mine always goes to suits. Like spoken like a guy that came to work, or looking like a guy that just came to work. Which is just a way of saying like you're kind of showing up in a sort of normie slash, I don't know. It's just a hilarious suits quote. But yeah, bro, that's you're sounding like a guy that wants to have his comments removed. I'll be perfectly honest with you. First last. Skate or S8Y. You're speaking like a homie that just desires to just enter the comment graveyard. The comment graveyard where no one ever returns. You get one of those 24-hour or permanent lifetime timeout badges. You get a little achievement unlocked where you're no longer capable of commenting on this stream. Seems like you're on that path, first last. And who am I? Who am I to stop you, brother? But thanks for sharing. Namaste. Yo, welcome, OPT. Thank you, brother. Maybe let's challenge our brain and do some weird stuff. Arpeggios and chord structures and whatnot. Nope, 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 nope. Triads. Nope, nope, no, no, no. Okay, let's make these triads happen. There was a triad here. We're also in a weird alternate tuning. Split tuning and drop B 432. So this is strange. Not a normal chord structure. So we're kind of having to... Yeah, that's what we're going for. So nothing applies the same way as if we were in standard. Interesting, interesting. The F is this, and please don't tell me to read books. Interesting. Whoa, Arkham Hasai Lem. Mystery is this existence. What a mystery is existence. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I can't tell. I don't think homie was throwing jabs. But, hey, thank you. Thank you, Dan, for, let's see. Oh, 4 gems. Nice. I don't know how that works, but 4 hours of meditation is very productive. I reached a state where I felt like I was floating after 7 hours meditation. Very good. Congratulations, dog. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Namaste from India. Sweet. Yeah, all I can say is that, weirdly enough, I'm going backwards here. Homie says he's in his 40s, and I think he's making a reference saying he's old or something. Bro, what the like, 40s is nothing, dude. Like, I mean, I'm 31, and, I'm I don't know, I'm a weird example of a dude that sort of transcends age. I'm also very healthy, of course, but when I'm in my 40s, bro, I'm still gonna be operating like I'm in my 20s, like in a healthy way. I'll still be training hard and evolving and growing. So 40s is not really that old. I mean, if you're like 70s, still even not that old objectively, like you're still alive, but yeah, I don't know, man. 40s is it's all age in that perception. If you think you're old, you are, but you're not really. Like, a lot of people, they're like in their 30s or they're my age, like they're 31. They're like, man, I'm so old. What's going on? Or they're like mid 20s and they're like, oh man, I'm getting old. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, no, bro. Like, I'm 31 and I feel like age is like not even relevant, bro. Like, it depends on how much you accomplished. Let's be honest in this world. Like, if you mentally, like, if you're healthy genetically, you've been honoring your genetics and you're accomplishing a lot in these, oh, bro, it's the chipmunk. Last time we streamed here a few days ago, he's back. This is awesome. It's our boy. Oh, no, no. We hit our guitar. There he is. Yeah, what's good? What's good, brother? Yeah, he's on his way. Yo, oh, whoa. He knows. He knew. He recognized. We're in the same spot. Same spot. Same everything. Wow. Yeah, I swear that's the exact same chipmunk, man. Wow. That was magical. But yeah, anyhow. Age. Yes. Yes, sir. Transcended age for longest time. Haha. Good. I mean, yeah, dog. No jazz, I meant this existence. What the F is this? Yeah. Hey, that's valid, bro. That's valid. I gotta say. Yeah. People who don't stay healthy physically and mentally feel old and tired. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It sucks. Yeah. I mean, I'm also, if you're new to this channel, I mean, I know you are, Arkham, but I myself, yeah, Arkham Asylum. Oh, that's your name, Arkham Asylum. I don't know why I read it as some like Indian. I mean, well, you're Indian, but like, or whatever you said you're from there. Arkham, it was like a different word, like some sort of Egyptian. I thought it was like Egyptian name. But yeah, bro. Uh, I myself love that dimension of exploring it, thinking it, honoring the health. I'm a trainer myself. Like I've trained, basically been a trainer myself, like trained my own trainer for about 16, coming up 17 years. Like that's when I really have been like devoting myself. I've studied to be a trainer, which is not really hard. Anyone can do that. But I've also more oriented at to be a movement coach. So simply, yeah, I like really honor and love exploring this dimension of health science, training protocols, supplement protocols, health protocols, magical portal. Is equally as I am a musician, I've been training martial arts for many years and various disciplines. But the idea is that training, honoring your health, what a beautiful modality. I say this many times very simply, is like, I am the musician that I am because of the, you know, all the other elements of myself, because of the martial artist within me, the trainer within me, the tutter, dancer within me. All these different elements, they all synergized, right? It's not like, the ability to train your brain is so pivotal. Like you play the guitar with your mind, your brain. So of course, training the body and the mind and having that harmony is magic. It's very important, I think, as a musician. Yeah. Canada A, praise that. Okay. I mean, that's not really that's not the move, but I appreciate the good energy to the homie. Yeah. Now, all I can say is, respectively, Christian, or it's not Christian, religious ideology, political ideology. That's, go find your religious, political, YouTube streamer community and go nuts. Like, all the power to you. But that's not what this is. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to preach religious ideologies. I mean, I like the philosophical constructs and the spiritual dimensions, the source spirit connection that is flowing through in all these dimensions of these ideologies. But I do not desire to, you know, invite discourse. That's a good word. Because this is a music channel. But thank you for sharing your perspective. Or thank you for sharing your good energy. But yeah, an AOPT, what the F is this? Like reality, yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, we don't have to think too heavily about it, but we can. And I love to. But I hear you, bro. Sometimes you gotta do that, bro. You gotta sit back and be like, what is going on, man? Like, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on in this 3D reality? Like, society, modern society, 2026. Like, what the hell is going on? But I can assure you, reality is still beautiful. Love is present. People are falling in love every day and making creative breakthroughs, and magic is happening all the fucking time. Like, that's a certainty. So as much as we're like, what is this? What is this? This chaos? This is chaos, brother. Welcome to nature, the natural chaos of this world. It is woven within, the polarity, the 3D reality of all that is dark, all that is light. It's madness, but it's also sanity. It's insanity and sanity. It's bliss, but also, just all of this shit, bro. So I agree. What is this? I don't know, bro. Yeah. And please don't go tell me to read books. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm probably the last person that go tell you to read books. But if you really want to figure out what this is, man, I guess just meditate. Not much better advice. I don't know. I got no advice for you, brother. I think all I can say is that's valid and it's a beautiful thing to ask. The fact that you're asking what the F is this, brother, I think you're on the right path. You're passionate, bro. You're passionate to get to the center of what's going on. And that passion hopefully will give you clarity. It'll give you that tenacity, will penetrate the illusions of this world. And the core theme of what I've been sitting with, bro, is like, I hope you're well, OPT. Like, I hope you're really, like, you're surfacing clarity and truth, brother. And, yeah, it's a wild ride. I feel you, dog. Trust. I feel you. But, something that's been relevant for me. This is what I'll sort of segue into. Get some background tunes. Oh no! Can't multitask that well. But yeah, I'd segue into the construction that's been very relevant for me lately. I've been sitting with psilocybin a lot and go on these like journeys where I just journey up into the mountains and go on these long hikes and, reflect and watch mountains for periods. That's what I've been doing a lot lately. And I've come to a few core realizations. Now, of course, as the one I've been emulating, I made content about. Shout out long format. Watch my long format video. Give it algorithm love. I don't know why I'm laughing so much, but yeah, it's like fear versus illusion. Like the illusionary construct, fear versus love. Sorry, fear is an illusion. Like that has been a reoccurring theme, dog. No matter where I turn, no matter how I try to construct and integrate it, it reappears and reoccurs in so many ways. I think and I hope and I desire for you to be like, okay, what is this, brother? This is an illusion. It's a construct of fear. So much of these narratives, all these different constructions that a lot of us sit with, man, that we're resisting, love in a sense, it's like we're sitting with fear. We're living in illusions. Illusions built by fear, constructed by fear. It's everywhere. It's programmed deeply. A lot of us were being controlled, manipulated, programmed, all similar wording, by fear. Our chipmunk friend is back, bro. This chipmunk is such a legend. He's like spiraling around and doing like jumps and crazy shit on this log. Well, it's like a dead, decayed tree. And he's just like spiraling around it. Wow, he's really in it. Yeah, but bro, I gotta say, if you can see through the illusion of fear, you're one step forward in understanding what the F is going on. Secondarily, though, in my experience again, I've been a proponent of seeing that we as humans, myself primarily, this is my lens, what's been going on, I've been realizing that I personally desire to sit deeper with the warrior archetype. I spoke of this briefly actually on my stream because, I just randomly say words that are relevant. But I myself have come to a very deep core realization that won't get too, psychoanalytical about this, I guess, but I myself have been recognizing that I've been, to some degree, negating the warrior archetype in my life, which, as I kind of underlined a little bit ago, I have spent many years devoting myself to training martial forms, training martial arts, various types of things like Qigong, Tai Chi, not really martial forms in this quintessential sense, but a lot of Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of Muay Thai, Taekwondo for about 7.5 years. But the essence of it is I realized, I was like looking at my life and I'm like, okay, I've been honoring this king archetype, growing YouTube, managing YouTube, growing this, letting it grow and blossom into beautiful things. But the essence of my warrior archetype has been something that I have not been fully fulfilling. So as I was like, sitting at this mountain, meditating and thinking, and I was on mushrooms at this time, I saw it so clearly. I was like, brother, you have the ability to act on such powerful dimensions of your life. Like, why not just go and take up an offer and train at a jiu-jitsu gym that I had offered to me like a little while back, from a good friend of mine. I have the power basically to honor the warrior archetype. To reawaken, I'd say, basically honor the rage, honor the anger, the frustration, the sacred rage, the sacred anger that may be flowing through, and listen to what it's trying to tell me, which is honor the warrior archetype. It's like if there's anger in your life and you're feeling powerless, if that is the case, and as myself, I've seen this manifest. As I transitioned out of my relationship I was in for a little bit that I really loved and felt honored, I felt there was a level of like this level of powerlessness and frustration that was flowing through. Gotcha, mosquito. But I recognized, I was like, I have more power than I could ever imagine to honor this warrior archetype in my life. And I was seeing it so clearly. I was like, yes. Like, what is stopping me fundamentally from signing up and trying a trial at my friend's jiu-jitsu gym, or going and train capoeira for a day, or whatever the free membership is, and maybe going and trying boxing here, or I don't know, just like penetrating continuums, creating new paradigm shifts that is honoring the warrior archetype. This was a core theme in my life. I was like, it's so clear. The message is so clear. And this is something I've spent many, many, many years devoting myself to. And, as I've been shifting into being a full-time YouTuber and doing the YouTube thing, which has been very pivotal and powerful, I've just inherently seen that I think I need to now interject my energy, or reintroduce my energy into the warrior archetype. Very prevalent. Very prevalent. Yeah. Hey, thanks. 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 Hey, Ryan. But Ryan, sometimes the fear is trying to tell you something of your environment and memories. Yeah. Oh, yeah, bro. Listen to the lessons of the fear. Fear is very, very real. Like, again, I said a lot of this in my video, but I mean, honestly, it's just a video. It's just a short monocle. Fear is, it's not something we can just be like, okay, just ignore it. That's the opposite. It's about acknowledging how to see with a heart-centered space and feeling through the fear. And the sad reality is, again, this is how I had to realize this, dog, is like, you have to actually sometimes actually face and sit with the most excruciating fear. The pain of your fear-based narratives manifesting into your reality, and having to sit with that, be like, man, how can this pain of my own narrative, be real? It's only when you actually genuinely surface, maybe it's a very intense level of pain of being like, wow, the pain of my own fear-based narratives presented in front of you in the utmost intensity. It's only in those moments when you can actually realize there's no way this can be real. There's no fucking way. And this then often, if not it invariably should, invite you and translate into action that lets you put this in perspective. Whether maybe this is the invitation, to sit with medicine. Medicine can be cold plunges, it can be psychedelics, it can be nature, it can be all these things at once, as it should be. But yeah, bro, it's like, I think unfortunately sometimes we have to see the limits of how we can experience our fear-based narratives coming true, surfacing in such ways, not running away from these fear-based narratives, and let them surface and really see and be like, this cannot be real. This level of grief or perpetuation of the fear that we might feel. And again, I'm not saying this because you got to listen to my words and be like, all right, fear's not real, fear's an illusion, let's go, goodbye fear. You got to see this. You got to see this in your own lens. You got to see this in your own fear-based narratives, unfortunately. I mean, hopefully words can plant a seed and you can be like, yes, there's something more than fear. It is love. And it's like, you got to feel that. You got to like recognize that you yourself deserve to see through a lens of love, a safe, beautiful, unconditional love. Ultimately, that you yourself are holding for yourself, but you reflect it everywhere. You reflect this in romantic partnerships. You reflect this in the community, in the familial context that you let yourself receive, And I don't know. I'm a proponent of love. I love love. Um, I love the feminine energy with my whole heart. I love the radiance of feminine energy and how it manifests. I love, every dimension of the dating construct of entering intimate partnerships and sacred partnerships and all of it, all the little fun in and outs of dating. I'm a proponent of it. But of course, it's not always easy. Of course, it's going to challenge you to your core. And the essence of why I'm pointing that out is because honestly, the way that you're probably going to most authentically meet fear in your wounds is through love. It's through facing the most genuine, authentic reflection of love. Now, you don't need an intimate partner or romantic partner to experience this, but that will supercharge that. And in many rights, that is like one of the most pivotal phases of experiencing your love reflected back to you and realizing how much fear you've maybe constructed out of illusions in resistance to a deep dimension of love. And I don't know, simply, I guess we have to face, the walls we put up for love or from love, our walls we put up that block us from experiencing and feeling like that deepest dimension of love, whether it's your self-love and reflection of, love from the people in your life, your community, your family. It's like you deserve that love. We all do. And it's nothing more of an exquisite gift than to face the fear we hold that is resisting us receiving that love. And honestly, a sacred, beautiful feminine energy, and a sacred relationship portal is nothing more. That's no more exquisite of a reflection and a gift that you can receive. And yeah, I hope people find that. I hope those that want to or are able to receive that, because it's beautiful. And hopefully, again, it's paradigm shattering for you. Hopefully, you find love that cracks you open. It sucks sometimes, or it really is like challenging to accept that yes, we are wounded, we are flawed, we have our wounds that resist ultimately from love. But let's talk on a philosophical, spiritual level. No greater gift can be had, right? No greater gift. Like let go of those illusions, receive love, and here you are. Aren't only being programmed, but more so deceived. That's true. That's a beautiful point. But I would say the programming is invariably we're using program in a great context. Programmed with the narratives that we instill, that we absorb. It's programmed. And it's deceived. Yeah. It's programmed and deceived. Programmed with deception, often. Not always. Sometimes it's right in front of our eyes. Sometimes you're right. Maybe it's pure deception. It's so sophisticated and meticulously woven that, we wouldn't even identify it as deception. And that's, I think, the most dangerous of the programming or the deception. Like, that's a thing that I really like to think about and talk about. And, maybe it's like what we'd quintessentially define in society as manipulation 101, right? You're like, oh, that's XYZ narrative this. But deception, malicious programming or manipulative programming, that is everywhere. Like, let's be real, it's everywhere. If you recognize, if you're looking at it, like, oh yeah, that's malicious, that's deceptive. Like, that's clearly deceptive. You're watching maybe some sort of targeted ad that's like telling you something, you're like, oh man, that's deceptive. That's dangerous. That sucks. You're like, oh, that's not good for me. That's probably not gonna serve me to some degree. Maybe it's instilling fear. It's some sort of weird political campaign. I don't know. I don't watch those things. But if you're seeing something that your brain can barely even differentiate as deceptive, like you're like, oh, but that's probably good for me. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. You know what? That's probably what I want in my life. That's dangerous, bro. Like that's the deepest level of deception where your brain can barely even differentiate and be like, if you're like, oh, is that programming or is that not programming? Oh, is this a conscious choice that I'm making that's actually because I want this or that? It's like, I think some of the most deceptive programming, maybe you're right, maybe it is all about deception. But I think some of the most deceptive programming is operating out of our primal instincts. This is, I firmly believe. And we're getting a little bit intricated here, so hopefully you guys can kind of sit with this or follow along. But All I'm simply saying is I've realized this time again and again. It's not too complex, but some of the most sophisticated programming is playing on our primal instincts and urges. You know, social media, advertising, consumerism, capitalism as a whole, materialism is doing this, right? You're thinking to yourself, yes, this is what I want. I want this food, this junk food, or no, this is what I want. I want this emulation of community and connection and masculine and feminine energy. This is what I want. But in reality, it's all an illusion. It's all like a deceptive, sort of weird ploy that's basically hijacking your evolutionary, um, let's say, instincts. Like that's what I'm kind of just trying to underline. And it's pretty simple. It's like some of the most deceptive and, I'd say, successful programming that we might not identify as programming, or deceptive, yeah, like programs, is playing on our evolutionary instincts. You're like, oh yes, but I'm a human being. I have the desire to procreate. Yes, I'm a human being. I have the desire to acquire resources. Yes, I am a human being. I have the desire to acquire safety, to acquire tribe and closeness to my fellow human being, and know what it means to be a man, and know what it means to be a woman, and I don't know what it means to feel love and joy. Those are like our evolutionary sort of instincts. We're like, yes, that's what we are. That's what we deserve. That's what we feel we desire. When those things become like manipulated, like, you're looking at the world of consumerism and a lot of things, they're just trying to tell you, this is what you want. Oh yes, this is what you want, based on, their sort of own agendas, versus what you actually need, and then you believe it. That is the programming sophisticatedly working against you. We see it everywhere. It's everywhere. It's literally like, it's everywhere in the way we are programmed through social media, through commercialism, through economic sort of structures of how we choose to eat certain food groups and make decisions related to our health. They're basically hijacking our evolutionary systems, our evolutionary instincts to be like, oh yes, I want resources. I want tribe. I want familial context. I want to know what it means to be a man and be a woman. I want love. I want connection. I want intimacy. I want a familial bond. Those are often the things that are being hijacked, right? Those are the things. And they're telling you, oh yes, but this is what you want, right? Oh, you want this sugar, sucralose food hijacked, weird thing. You want this lie of freaking, I don't know, what's the thing? Like an extremely weird painted picture of what, maybe connection or friendship or family is painted, like through some sort of Hollywood narrative, or oh yes, but you want this, but then this is what we're going to give you. It's not what you actually want, but it's close, right? And then your brain doesn't really realize that you're just being robbed, you're being siphoned. And that's what I sort of mean by programming. But anyways, I don't know. But all I'm simply saying is, we got fear, we got love. I think love is like a thing you feel that can kind of be a pathway back to being like, wait a second, like what do we as human beings, as a tribal being, really need and want in the society? And I think, again, it's a hard thing to unpackage. Like, welcome to 2026. The programming is sophisticated as ever, and it's only going to get worse. I literally have made videos about this exact thing. And who knows if I'll release them, I don't know. But welcome to 2026. The programming is deep. But I'm saying is, I have a strong feeling and inkling from my own experience that the way back, like if you're talking about traversing these complex waters of the programming, like we're talking about trying to talk about sophisticated billion-dollar companies that are hijacking your evolutionary, instincts, I think the path back is through seeing through the illusions of fear. Is this a fear-based narrative? Is this real? Is this my narrative? Or is this a narrative that is actually rooted within love? If you can try to feel into something that is rooted in love and see with the lens of love, you can penetrate a lot of this bizarre programming. Anyways, that went off in an interesting tangent, but yeah. Hey you, why aren't you talking to me, Robin? I'm talking openly, yeah. I was talking to the channel. Like, not the channel as the YouTube channel, like the channel. The channel that's speaking through me. Not that there's actually a thing, I'm just using it as a word, but like, I wasn't speaking to any one human. I was riffing, let's say. I was philosophically conceptualizing. I was speaking words that flow through me, you know? That's it. There was no person there. I mean, it was an answer to whom? I think Mona was kind of talking a bit. But if you don't love yourself, it's hard to love others. Yeah, that's why we just gotta be humans. You gotta experience it. You know, you gotta put yourself out there and be like, let's go. Let's learn how to love ourselves and others by doing. Which is hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to be vulnerable and be like, you know what? We're gonna put ourselves out there and actually like learn the art of love. But it is the path. Like if you can find a sacred alignment, a sacred partner that reflects to you the beauty and love that you are, that is medicine. It's what we all seek. So it's definitely challenging to love if you don't love yourself or love in general in a fucked up society, but it's worth it. You got to do it. You just got to do it. Anyway, I love the fascination, Robin Dickinson, with who am I talking to? I was talking to nobody. I was technically answering a question from Mona, but no, that was me just philosophically riffing. Yeah, yeah, true story. It wasn't directed at any person. No, it was just me talking. I don't know. I like that though. It was a fun dialogue. You need the negative to appreciate the positive, and vice versa. Yeah, bro. Yeah, polarity. We're blessed, brothers and sisters. Like we're blessed in this 3D reality. Maybe we should start speaking with our microphone because we got one, right? We have one that we've established. That we got to plug it in though. Right. We'll probably wrap ourselves up soon for the sake of time. Time. Existence. No. Soon. Soon. Just making soundscapes, I don't know. Whoa. Feel into the deeper emanation of what is within yourself. I don't know, we're just speaking words now. Yeah. Anyways, friend, welcome. What's good, Larry? Welcome, dog. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Run times with yes. I'd say reality, man, yes. Welcome, welcome. A welcome, Hunter. Microphone is muffled, turn it up a bit. My microphone. My microphone is muffled. Interesting. I don't know how it could be muffled. It's just audio flowing through a microphone or through a phone. Yes, Cyrus, we are in the woods. We are in the woods. Do you believe in the afterlife? Of course I do. Yeah. I think it's not even a thing to believe in. It's just we are a part of the universe that is an energy universe that is much larger that we return to. It's not necessarily afterlife like you might define, but it's massive. It's just the energy universe. It's there. It's always going to be there. It's never gone anywhere. We return, we go there, we emanate, we reincarnate, who knows. My central nervous system is still healing, and that's how my crazy environments have been. Ah. I can resonate with that, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I hope you find ways. There's many ways, but of course, what is unique and is going to help you the most with healing your nervous system is the path. But I don't know that entirely, but there's many cool ways, right? Many effective ways to heal the nervous system. Reality changes every day, and therefore just appreciate every part of it. Yeah, it might be a reality for you, might be a dream, some of the nightmares for others. Yeah, bro, honestly, dog. Like, in the simplest sense, a lot of what I'm saying, a lot of what you're saying, a lot of what we could say is collective. And I thought about this a lot yesterday. I was in a very interesting state. And if you think about it, right? If we understand karma, the karmic cycle, if we have a dualistic perspective at all, we're like, wait a second, is there harmony in the universe? I would say probably. But the idea is if there's harmony, there's a greater harmony, right? There's a greater balance, right? There's a yin and a yang in a sense, right? If we try to conceptualize that, if we understand that the quantum theory, you know, the quantum particles we're made of that manifest as infinite realities and versions of yourself, if that is a fact that you believe in or resonate with it at that all, if you're like, there's some truth in that, which I believe is the truth in the deepest sense, that means that every one of us in the world, in the collective, every one of us is operating from some different spectrum of awareness that we are infinite. And that is what I think creates the greater harmony of what is. So not all of us even recognize, oh, wait a second, there's infinite versions of ourselves, and we're reflections of that, and we become who we are and our thoughts and the beliefs that we believe and reflection to others. Most of us have not woken up to the infinite nature of who we are. And if we believe that there's balance in the universe, we're like, oh, it's duality, yin and yang, right? For every darkness, there's a light, right? Well, that also is going to play into the infinite nature and how deeply we've known the infinity. Basically, for those of you that have only woken up to a certain point, like awoken to the infinite nature of what is, like if you don't understand the greater totality of how things operate, you're trying, maybe to some degree, you're on a spectrum, but you don't really understand the power you have as an individual. That, in many rights, is also going to interplay. That is basically the harmonizer of what we karmically see. It's basically how conscious are you of your infinite nature, and how does that interplay into how that's harmonizing in the universe. And that's something that's very intangible. Like, let's be real here. That's not something you can measure. You can walk up to someone like, hey, how much do you understand the infinite nature? How much do you believe in quantum theory, and how much have you applied that in your life? Like, you can't quantify that very well. You really can't. So if there's harmony in the universe, you're like, yeah, it's dark and light, we're in a balance, dualistic, and blah, 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 yin and yang. You have to realize that it probably applies on a karmic level, of course, but also on a quantum level. That is, there are many people that don't recognize how infinite they are, and they don't apply those models and philosophies of reality, and then there are many that do. Not that many. That is a part of the way that the universe is balancing itself. It's based on how conscious people are of their infinite nature or not. And I found that mind-blowing when I thought about that. So it's like, sure, we can be like, yeah, everyone's, we're weaving through different realms of how much we are basically creators of the infinite potential of all things. Everything's existing all at once simultaneously, and we're directing our energy in different ways. But it's like, how conscious are you of how much power you have? That, I think, is a very difficult to measure metric. That is how a lot of the balance that we might perceive or define, I feel, is unraveling, truly. Right? And if you think about that, that makes sense. Basically, how philosophically developed, in a sense, to recognize the infinite nature of yourself and others and everything, where are you on that spectrum? And if you were to try to understand how that operates and how little people do or do not operate that, that is more of the factor that I would say plays deeply into how, well, dualism works, to how yin and yang works, to how, oh, there is a balance and a greater sort of equilibrium in the universe, but it doesn't operate in the way you might think it does. And that's kind of in alignment with a lot of these kind of things. They're universal laws. They're not just like, you're like, oh, but you're living a happier, more healthy life because of X, Y, Z. But that person is clearly not, and but that person is, and that person's not. It's like, no, you have to basically understand. It's more of like a deeper, almost like karmic again, but more like, I'd say like a quantum theory-based consensus. Do you know how infinite you are and everything that is? To what degree? And it's like, how in a larger worldwide scale, to what degree do people actually know how infinite they are in the world around them or not? That is like a greater harmony. And I would say if you zoomed out, you would probably see that there is in fact a great harmonized balance of those that actually recognize their infinite nature versus they do not. That is almost like the harmonized metric. That's what's balancing and creating a dualism. And we can't actually very successfully quantify that. You can't look at a person and be like, oh yeah, that person's probably understands the infinite nature of who they are. That person probably not. Like, you actually just can't do that very well. It's a thing you have to like feel and really just like unlock. And yeah, I don't know. That was kind of, those are some post psychedelic thoughts that kind of flowed through. But it makes sense if you try to understand it. What are your thoughts on philosophical meaning of life? Damn, you guys are killing it. You're killing it with the questions. Like, these are good questions. But one sec. What is the meaning of life, he says? Or something. What was that? People are creatures of routine. People every day are afraid to break out. Yeah, that is so true, Mona. I spoke about that so much, especially the last couple months where I was like watching myself, apply some of the quantum theory stuff I was talking about, but just like grow a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, damn, like people don't even freaking, like, do people even realize that you can wake up one day, be like, oh, I want a successful life? Well, you can make a successful life occur, but you got to build it with successful habits. You got to make successful choices. Like, you got to break out of your routine continuously. You got to like shatter your routine. Shatter it. That's kind of what I was talking about a while back, is like, you can technically, try to produce some sort of like, achievement based on the societal model of like, oh yes, but I got to go do this and that and then this and then I've achieved XYZ, check off some boxes. Or you can shatter the paradigm. Like, you can wake up and decide, you know what? I'm going to meditate for 2 hours. Probably not very easy for you, for myself as well. But it's like, you can meditate for 2 hours. You can go do a strength training. You can sit in a forest and do some psychedelics and do whatever. You could probably do these things. But you got to make that choice. Probably don't have to do all that or do that particularly, but you could go in, I don't know, if you lived like me near a forest, sit in a river and do a cold plunge and run every single day like I was doing, and I do, and then do, whatever you want to do, build your business and build your disciplines and whatever. But it's like, you got to make those conscious choices. Like, you got to break open the routine and be like, this is a choice. I'm choosing to be a successful person by building and ingraining successful habits. A lot of people, they're like, in a weird way, they're like, oh, but I want to live a successful life, but they don't necessarily do what it means to be successful. They don't ingrain successful habits. They don't realize that successful life is literally just a product of successful choices that you make every single fucking day. Ritualistically, you're just like, I'm making a successful choice that is aligning with success. Like, I'm going to do something that is honoring this, that, the other. And if you're making successful or unsuccessful choices, you're making bad choices. Obviously, if you're living in a reality, you're like, man, my life sucks. Well, it's because your choices suck. That's it. That's all it is. But anyways, just a thought. Am I wearing bug spray? I'm not wearing bug spray. And surprisingly, I'm doing great. No problems here with the bugs. Love is the most powerful in the universe. Yes, it really is. Absolutely, Katerina. Very true. It's the programming of ideologies. Hey, thank you. Hey, you, why aren't you talking? Robin's hilarious. Dude, Robin, I don't know if you're behind on the stream, like it's glitched out. That happens, I suppose. Maybe it's your first time or second time. I don't know. Maybe the first, second, third time being on a stream. But, yeah, I don't speak to anybody always. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm just speaking through, I don't know, channel through myself. I'm just saying words. I don't necessarily respond, but it's maybe, again, if you're new to the stream, maybe you're, different generation or something. I'm not speaking in particularly, I just speak at random in response to people. And that's part of the puzzle. That's part of the mystery. You have to figure out, what am I speaking about? What am I talking about? To who? And, it's not that hard to really decipher if you pay attention or, just you use comprehension abilities. But I'm just saying words. Nice. Yo, thank you, brother. 7890. You're the guy. You're the one, brother. Not that one. Not the guy like that guy. You're the guy. Like you're that weird dude that just like pops on, who's just feeling compulsive, who's just like you're just not in a good place. You know, you're stressed, feeling insecure, operating off compulsive narratives. You know, I don't even want to paint the picture further, but thank you, 7890. I get it, brother. You've revealed exactly how weird and insecure and compulsive you are and how that's just not working for you, brother. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. But that's a hard no, brother. That's a hard no. You know, you've earned this 24 or this lifetime band job thing. Yes, I did speak to you. I was speaking to her a couple times, but I was trying to just, address the other topics or comments. Sometimes life can suck based out of things out of your control. Yeah, based on things out of your control. That's that's part of it. I mean, it goes deep, bro. That goes deep. Yeah, I mean, what is out of your control? Because I mean, I don't know. Not to get too, poetic or cliche, in a sense, but nothing is technically out of your control. Like because it's like that poetic kind of quoted thing of like, you and ultimately it's how you respond internally. Like your internal world is much more, and it aligns with a lot of philosophically if you understand quantum theory. It's like we are in fact just the creators of every thought, belief system. Like, if everything is like, you're like, oh man, everything's out of my control, everything sucks. Okay. Yes, it does. Like everything that you've experienced, or the things, not everything, but you were saying sometimes. You're like, these things that I've seen on the occurrence occasionally suck and out of my control. They do. But primarily because you've given into that belief that it's like, okay, this is something that I've invited, or if that is a part of my reality and it's out of my control. It's like if you genuinely address those things out of your control and realize that you are in fact actually in some sense inviting this, like there's ability, you can basically reclaim the control, the things you think are out of control. Not to say everything, you're right. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting too broad and philosophical. Sure, there are definitely things that are out of control, seemingly, like shit happens, the universe is a random chaotic place. But I think the more we can understand just how much we do influence our reality and return to that and philosophically understand and package that, I don't know, you'll begin to see that there are few things that we cannot put in perspective in a healthy way and healthily contextualize and internally experience in a healthy way. Sure, it's not necessarily in our control per se, but I don't know, it's a narrative shift away. I don't know. That might seem a little bit cliche, but also, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you, Nenzo. I feel you, brother. Like, honestly, life can be overwhelming. Like, shit is out of control, stressors. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't have all the answers. Don't have all the answers. I mean, I could think about that. And thank you, Willow. Appreciate it, dog. I do have a nice uh, style or sense of style. And shout out Arcane Coda. Arcane Coda are pretty dope. Yeah. I know, like, I swear Mushy Mush, great name. Man, I was literally the other day, I did a stream, for like 3 hours or something. Or no, it was 2 hours, I don't even know, I don't remember. I was just streaming for a couple hours, and I was sitting in the forest, streaming as I do. Had been on like a 5-day break, and it was like the day 2 coming back. And man, I was like, I was seeing in real time. I was like, not only do I not have all the answers, I'm not sure if I ever even want to. I'm not sure if I even want to, offer advice per se to strangers. Particularly, this was also right before the full moon, so I feel like a lot of people were like going through it, bro. Like there were a lot of people that were like, immediately, like they'd pop on the stream and be like, "Whoa, he's speaking truth. He's a piece of shit." Not actually like that, but they would say some outlandish stuff, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay. And then the other person's like, "Oh man, this guy's just not good at guitar or something." I don't even remember half the comments, but it was outlandish, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious, and I remember just like sitting and being like, "Whoa, you know what? Maybe I should continuously, like, moving forward, if I'm in a moment where there's like all these people flooding through, new audience members and blah blah blah, and people that are just going through some crazy stuff, the intelligent stance is to recognize maybe people don't always necessarily, of course not, they don't need advice. They don't need someone to be like, oh wait, I have the answer, here it is, and reflect it back to them. I mean, if they want to change, they will change. If they want to apply said advice or perspective, people necessarily, they don't need people to fix them. Not everyone is prepared to handle accountability. Not everyone's prepared to handle their projections bounce back at them. That's kind of what I'm saying. And obviously, I think the YouTube wilderness is a very wild flux. Sometimes we're inviting a very interesting kindred dimension of people, but on the odd occasion, it becomes chaotic. And I'm like, whoa, what can we learn from this? And the answer is clear. Sometimes you don't have all the answers. You shouldn't. And even if you do, or you think you do, or whatever, you got to recognize that, people can only change as much as they desire to change and show up as they desire to show up. And that's okay. Like, it's beautiful to just surrender to being like, you know what? It's okay. People, you don't need to fix the world. You don't need to hold the weight of the world and, take on all the weight of the world. You don't. I don't know. Right, if that's a healthy reminder for anything. But what a beautiful reminder. And thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for revealing that to me the other week. And I was just like, whoa, this is not the normal stream experience for myself. But it was a good learning lesson. It's an interesting tone. I don't know if that was the one, but... This is so fun in itself, I swear. Like, this guitarless dynamic of just like tingsha, voices, and frickin', I don't know, drums and pan flute. Like, that alone can go so hard. But, of course, our strength is in guitar. You learn from others' mistakes, not yours. Sure. Wait, what? You learn from others' mistakes, not yours. Huh. I don't know if that's an objective truth, dog. Only if you inherently know and have the bandwidth. Yeah. That's interesting, though. I mean, I kind of get... I hear what you're saying, C-Bell. But also, we do learn from our own mistakes, typically. I mean, you should. That's... You're the, like... Your own mistakes are the most valuable. Your lessons. But I hear ya. Like, that's the egoic kind of stance, right? Let's see. I'd argue things can be extremely out of your control, and you can choose how you suffer through it. That's correct. I 100% agree with that, brother. Sometimes bad things just happen. No rhyme or reason, bad things just happen. That sounds like a very intelligent, mature perspective. And I like it. I agree, bro. And I'm sure that's, that's extending and expanding, and he's speaking to Nenzel, and yeah, bro. You can choose how you suffer through it. I think that's a very valid, powerful connection. Of course, yes, suffering, it's like a, it's like a Buddhist kind of emanation that you can, like, suffering, we all experience pain, but suffering is optional. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the basis of it is, like, suffering is optional. The suffering, like how we're stretching out our pain, like we're like, maybe perpetuating it. And I don't know, that hits home for me invariably. But yeah, but I have to say, you're probably right, bro. The universe is chaos. Like, it can be. It's the chaos, the dance of chaos. And things do just happen at random. We could be like, wow, that person did not deserve that, or that is like harrowing, excuse me, harrowing that human being had to go through that. But yeah, I guess there's not always reason behind things. We can try to attach and find reason, but yeah, you're probably right, bro. The world can just be a crazy place sometimes. I don't know, but I'm an advocate of transmutation. I'm an advocate, as an artist, as a guitarist, various disciplines of creative dimensions and domains. Transmutation is beautiful. Like, we can look at all the harrowing, difficult, sorrow of this world, the turmoil, the pain, the suffering. But if you can transmute that into pure beauty, pure expression, pure art, if you will, if you have that ability, transmutation, and you don't have to be an artist per se to do that. You can transmute energy in many ways. But I think transmutation is the key in many rights, at least in my experience. Let's speak through the microphone. It's very mysterious, very mystical. But truly, transmutation, man, transmutation. I speak of this so openly, and I think that is in many rights maybe what Nenzel is trying to speak to. Maybe it's what OPT is trying to speak to. And I think transmutation in many rights is the key. It's the key to all the doors. Now, we don't have all the ability to just be like fluent songwriters or guitarists or whatever it is your chosen modality. But I think transmutation, whether we're on that path currently or we'll find it, it is the way. We're human beings, we're creators, we're meant to connection, and we got reconnected. But I'm a firm believer, and this is maybe a little bit vague and obscure in some rights, but transmutation, like, transmuting with creative expression, whether it's dance or guitar or songwriting or singing or which is all that. I'm a firm believer in transmutation is that, like, if we look at the world like, man, that was harrowing, shit happened and there's no rhyme or reason and it's horrendous. That is a truth. But also we can be transmuters of energy. Like, we are human beings. We are creators that have this innate ability to transmute raw energy through creation. That's like our universal purpose, I feel, in the deepest way. But I don't know, food for thought. Yeah. Yes. You learn from all mistakes. Heck yeah. Love you're just pulling out more and more instruments. Let's go. They've been here all along. They've been here all along. We're all just energy in a carnal package. When we die, our energy reverts back to the universe and beyond. Yes, brother. Or miss. Yes, sister. Yes. Back into the universe and beyond. It's everlasting, and that is part of what infinity is. Wow. Very beautifully said. Thank you for sharing, Mona. Will I have babies? Yes. One day. I don't have one, but I will. Yeah. Do you ever listen to George Gregorian? George, I think you mean Gregorian. I don't. But I love it. I think I've heard it like twice ever. I like clicked on YouTube and there was like Gregorian chants and I was like, what is this? Because I was listening to like Tibetan chants. And yeah, Gregorian chants, bro. Like, yeah, it's like or like it's like just echo chambers. I imagine it's just, ancient sounds through like a cathedral. I think that's what Gregorian chants often are. They're like religious, usually, chants that go through like a cathedral chamber. And it very naturally, it sounds very similar to, yeah, this beautiful preamp setup. It's great. I love it. I have to say, I love everything to do with chants, these vocal dimensions. I kind of just see it as like orchestrating opera-esque. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. Ancient sounding. I'm trying to learn Mongolian throat singing, but it's kind of challenging. Good evening, please. Can I ask you? Play Metallic Enter Sandman. Beautiful song. I have no idea how to play it. Whoa. Wow. Whoa. Huh. My daughter was just born. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful, Max, but I'm not a cover artist, actually. Not a cover artist. Don't know Enter the Sandman. Beautiful song, though. Yeah. It's exactly, yeah, bro. It's like I hear the songs from Halo. I hear the songs from Death Note, Attack on Titan, Assassin's Creed. It's all that, bro. It's all that amalgamated. Many different beautiful sounds. It's all there. Yeah, like. It just goes. It goes. It just goes, man. Just echoes. Wow, my voice is getting really dry from all this. I don't know if it's just maybe the. But we should probably close this stream pretty soon. Um, our phone's getting low. Our laptop's probably getting low. We're getting there. Let's see. Probably, it's a good time. Okay, no, laptop's doing great. Wow. Bro, laptop is killing it, man. It's just legendary. But we should probably, do a cold plunge and drink some water, eat some food. The idea is what we're probably going to do. We can't say exactly because, like we kind of emulated. I don't know, man. I kind of just want to do anything. Like, I just want to do nothing and everything at the same time. Half the time lately. I'm just like, bro, I could do whatever I want, but I could also just do nothing. And that's great. But, yeah, basically what I'm saying is I'm probably going to go to the gym, bring my busking setup and busk in Gastown before I go to a rave at like 7 o'clock at night. So that's probably what's going to happen. It's like, oh, it's 5:46, bro. Wow, it's later than I thought. All right, so we're basically going to have to set ourselves up, organize ourselves up, and maybe go to the gym, 20, 30 minutes, go downtown. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Honestly, it is what it is. Magic. Magic, magic. Oh, thank you. Anastasia Enchanted. Beautiful. Welcome, Anastasia. It's nice to have you in this beautiful portal. Yes, yes. As we've been just chatting, talking about some deep stuff with some of our friends here, and our new friends or whatever. And our loop pedal is dead as it gets, but we are here, and we have this microphone, which is a very nice component, because microphones like this it makes for a very nice dimension. And we can just echo through it all. Yeah. And then go back. I'm surprised I'm not getting swarmed by more mosquitoes. But it might be the vibrations. They just don't fuck with the vibrations. But thank you, Natasha. Or Natasia. Yeah, Anastasia. Imagine it's yes, my lovely friend. From the real world. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Until my next scroll, brother. Peace out. Nice. Ah, yes. Nice. Interesting. Peace out. Mona. I still can't tell if you're a guy or a girl. I'm assuming it's Mona, though. I am going to Willy Wonky. Is it Willa Wonka? Willa Wonka. So the Red Room, likely. It's the Red Room show. That's Willa Wonka. Headline. That's the headliner. I'm not sure if I'll even be there for Willa Wonka. It's his first time being in Vancouver. But yeah, Red Room's bringing Willa Wonka. We have Anaj. I think he's opening. Then we got Daniel. The homie Daniel. He's doing the Lurk Skywalker. He's doing another set, and then I think there's Def 3, who's like a kind of like a funk glitch hop rapper kind of guy. He's all right. I've seen him a few times. I mean, I like him. He's a great dude, but his presence is not like the music he plays isn't as dope as the others. All I know is everything's dependent on me having the energy mentally. I just know I really want to dance. I've been like, yeah, but Willy Wonka, or Willa Wonky, whatever his name is. Of course, he's a play on words of Willy Wonka. But he's a dude, he's basically a dubstep artist that has a giant hat and goggles. He wears trippy goggles and a giant, top hat. He looks very dapper. Wow. This is very frayed, it seems. Seems like I'm gonna need to get a new bow pretty soon. It still works though. Still works very well. Oh, that's what I thought. I'm going to a party at the Chalice tonight. Oh, wait, there's a party at the Chalice tonight? On. There's a party at the Chalice tonight, like the Vern's Chalice. Ah. Wow. That sounds a lot better than the Red. Interesting. Well, you may have just changed my reality. Yeah, I don't know. I love the Chalice. Like the place is fucking awesome. Wow. The Chalice. I'll have to look into YouTube. 'Cause damn, I think I could really use the Chalice, like a party at the Chalice, much more than a party at the Red Room. I mean, the Red Room's great, but oh yo, our squirrel chipmunk friend. It's our squirrel chipmunk friend. Check this, check this. Here he is. He's been listening this whole time. And now he's just chilling. Yes, the chipmunks. Wow, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful presence, Anastasia, and putting out that intention. Wow. Interesting. So I mean, I could always just I could always just, hmm. I could always just busk around Coquitlam, return, and just go to the Chalice. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I don't know. The Chalice is just, yeah, that place is so much better. And there's no other. Wow. Wow. I'm now intrigued as fuck. Do you know how much are the tickets there? Yeah, Anna, how much? Anastasia. Animals are fascinated to the music. Yeah, dog. Honestly, the birds and the squirrels, they're very drawn. Definitely the birds and the owls. But the chipmunk, bro, he's just here for me. Or he's here for it. Bro, he's digging. He's digging. He's digging and burying something. He's just digging. Hey, yes, it's me. Now he's staring at me. Okay, he's making sure. Making sure it's safe. Wow. This is grand. Oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I see you, friend. That's great. Hello from Moscow. Send your guitarist is it here? What's up, bro? Nice. Blessings from Canada to Moscow, dog. It's Count Aros, and it's a ritual theater experience too before the party. Ah, that checks out. I've been to similar types of Eros. Ah, I think that sounds very similar to the one I was at previous. Well, I hope they still have tickets. I hope they still have tickets. To bring good news and inspiration. You're sweet. Yeah. Theater experience. Interesting. A theater experience. Interesting. That sounds really dope. Yeah, I gotta look into that. That may be the move. You may have just shifted my reality for the better in many ways. Well, that is, I mean, Chalice rocks. I love that place. Just a beautiful, beautiful home. In Canada, nature, how in Russia. Do you want me to send the info? Yeah, please do. Please do. Thank you. In Canada, nature, how in Russia. Huh. I mean, the nature's great in Canada, bro. I mean, here we are. Yes, sir. We are in this beautiful forest bed. Pretty dope, I could say. We got a squirrel, our squirrel friend over there. Or chipmunk. I don't even know. So that's it. I mean, we hear these people in the distance playing like there's a baseball game or a softball game or something, kind of, closing up or something. Ah, very beautiful. Thank you. Glad to survive. Animals are fascinated to the music. Oh yeah, I guess Max or this Russian Belarus. Ah, the Belarus one. I don't know. I don't know if you read English, Belarus fellow. Um, I don't know how to play Enter the Sandman. No. Wow, that's a great octave. Such a great octave. Nature in Canada is just like in Russia, the same trees and so on. Wow, that's crazy, bro. I would never expect that. Truthfully. Yeah. Magic. It's 50 lines, 2 notes. All right, I think we'll make the executive decision to wrap ourselves up here. Um, I want to go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Disturb the squirrel, but I kind of want to show you guys the squirrel. He's really locked in this trance. I don't know. Well, I just feel like, yeah, I gotta say what's good to the squirrel. Let's just, yeah, get in there. This is our riverside. Oh. Oh. Yes. He's just kind of locked in. I mean, oh, he's chomping on. Maybe he's consuming some nuts. Oh, okay. Okay. Ah. Dang. So he was burying. Oh, maybe he was like digging up something that he buried. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's that. I don't know. Magic. Well, I think because for time, I think we are preparing to make our leave, charge our equipment and our gear, wrap everything up. Yeah. Been a pretty fruitful, fun stream. Lots of nice conversations and good energy. Nature and the Vlad. Play guitar too. I have a Gibson P90. Nice. Gibson P90. Not a clue, but that's brilliant. Our sort of ghetto outdoor setup. Or not even ghetto, but it's just everything's just everywhere. It's just all scattered. I think we'll take this moment to kind of just set the space. Also, here's my Ko-Fi. It's probably backwards, so you can't really do anything about this. But it's a metaphor. That's a representation of what is. It's Ko-Fi, baby. Ko-Fi, Ko-Fi. I don't know how it's pronounced, but this is a scan code which you can't really scan because you're on a stream. But Ko-Fi is my tipping platform. It's tipping. I don't know. It's if you feel the desire, zero pressure. Honestly, I don't ever expect people to tip me, and it's good. It's all good. But I'm super grateful. Like, shout out to Chad, Moonstars, and Vermilion. Yes, as they recently have been really, generously contributing to this channel. Which any writes, $1, $5, anything means the world. Honestly, in the same regard, I treat this, and when I busk, I don't expect people to tip, but it's sincerely means a lot to see that people desire to invest in my vision, in my channel. I'm at this place where, I make like little amounts, but very much like I'm on a quest to really unlock the greater totality of this YouTube experience, which takes time, takes patience. I'm in no rush, truthfully. But yeah, with that, feel free to tip to my Ko-Fi if you desire to. Ko-Fi. Ko-F-I-A-S-E. A-S-E. But that's nor here nor there. That's just me shamelessly self-promoting, in a sense. I mean, not shame, it's just, Ko-Fi, baby. But no matter, it's also a great platform. In all honesty, for those of you that are creators, buskers, whatever, YouTubers, Ko-Fi, I maybe be even saying it wrong the whole time. It's an excellent platform. It doesn't gank the 30% overhead that YouTube likes to do, which is crazy. Yeah, it's just better. It's just better, bro. But yes. Do I live in the forest? No, I do not. I live in a Westwood home, strata. Welcome, K. Manson. Welcome. Hearts right to you as well. Yes. But anyway, with that, I think we're going to officially do our outro in this place. I'm going to do a quick pan flute solo, but... Getting bark everywhere. Amazing. All right, well, thank you so much. Smoke and nice. Very nice. Smoke and. I don't know what smoke means. This is a ritual incense. It's Lumbini. It's a Nepal ritual incense. Yeah. It's a beautiful scent. They twist the incense so they burn evenly. But yeah, I do not smoke anything. It's also why I really confidently don't care about doing this. I haven't smoked anything of any sort in about 11 years now. Nothing of the sort. Yeah. But thank you for bringing your projection, random stranger. Yeah. Your projection is noted. I get it. You yourself are fearing your own negative projections, the demons within yourself, which seems bizarre and bonkers, but hope you deal with that, dog. And good luck. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Deeply appreciate the support. Good, now don't do it. Again, still ritual incense. Not cigarettes or whatever you might think it might be. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Deeply appreciate the support. Again, over this last little while, I've really felt honored to, just receive the contributions. I don't know. Thank you so much, for the support on this channel. And hope you guys have a great day and a great night and a great life, as Wim Hof would say. Yeah. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys soon in the next episode. Much love. Bless. Ashe.